Do you have any idea what these things are? I'll give you 20 seconds to take a guess. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, if you guessed some kind of medieval weapon, I guess I can kind of see where you're coming from, but nah, you're way off. These are floating shelf brackets. So, I had a customer, it's actually a neighbor here, approach me to make them some floating shelves for their house. And you've seen me do all kinds of different stuff here. Mostly run the sawmill side of things and some more mill work, but I do occasionally get into little woodworking projects here and there. So I agreed to it since they're friends of ours, and I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I might as well video it. I thought it might make an interesting video. So I've got these 4 shelves here. They're all planed, cut to dimension. I spared you that. It was rough sawn. This is actually sassafras. Some really nice sassafras I had. Hit the dimensions and the look they were going for. So jointed it, planed it, cut it to the finished dimensions. That's ready to go. And so basically a floating shelf, if you're not familiar, just butts up to the wall and you see no fasteners at all. There's no brackets, there's nothing seemingly holding it up. It just looks like it's floating against the wall. Floating shelf. Brilliant, I know. So how do you do that? Well, there's different ways, but basically you need something that goes into the shelf and supports it while remaining hidden. So I've done this a few times in the past, and this time I'm using a product I haven't used before, but I've seen, and it looks to be probably the best product for this job. These brackets are from a company called Shepherd Brackets. I have no affiliation to them. I just ordered these off the website. I really have no connection with them at all, other than I saw their product. It looks like a really good product. It's made by a small company in the USA, and I figured I'd use them. So basically this is a whole system here. You can order just brackets from them, or you can order the whole thing to make this go easier. So basically, well, I can show you because I'm cheating kind of. I already have these long shelves done for the purpose of illustration. So some of you are instantly going to see how this works. These brackets, and they make them in all different sizes depending on what size shelves you have, just drop into these holes. And I'm not going to put it all the way in there because I don't have to pry it out, but they sit in flush. Actually a little bit below flush, so they're totally concealed. So you'll find your stud on the wall, and you'll screw this fast to the wall. So that'll get screwed to your wall, and then your shelf just slides onto it and pushes tight. Very nicely made, like I said, made in the USA, handmade. They seem to be super high quality, so these should work really well. The one big advantage to this, for me, because I'm not installing these, I'm just giving them to the customer. They told me where their studs were on the wall. I laid out their studs on these shelves per their dimensions. They could be off a little bit. I could be off a little bit. With this system, I have a ton of flexibility. So I centered a stud on here. I have a lot of room. You know, if it's off a 1/4 inch, they just bump it a notch to put their screws in. Not a big deal. Everything will still work. So that flexibility is really nice. You'll see some of these that are just single pegs. Quite honestly, you see there's a lot of these brackets on Amazon that are cheap, overseas made, not very high quality. I've used them before. You got to watch, they flex. They're not really designed. They have weird brackets that don't fit on 1.5 inch studs. they don't work so well. So when I saw this company, I was very thrilled because I think this is going to work really nice. So I'm using 2 of these long brackets for these long shelves. These are 103-inch shelves, and those 64-inch shelves, I'm using 2 short brackets. So it should work well. This is way more than enough weight capacity for what they're using these shelves for. It's just for decorations. So that is the basic premise of how this works. Now I'll show you how to actually lay it out and get it done. So to cut that recessed pocket that these brackets sit in is actually quite simple. Now this company, Shepherd Brackets, they also sell these templates, so I picked up templates right away just to make my life quicker and easier. You could make these, or you could, you know, come up with different solutions. You could rig up your own. You could freehand it if you were so inclined. But this is a exact match of the bracket with a little bit of play, so you have some wiggle room. So I marked, this is where the stud technically should be by my customer's dimensions. So you can see, you know, that should center up there, that if it's off either way, there's some wiggle room. I marked the brackets and I also marked center. So now I just line up these holes on my marks. And I'll set the camera down and screw that fast. Now this is sassafras. It's a relatively soft wood, so I can screw that without pre-drilling. If you're doing something hard like oak, you'd probably want to pre-drill before screwing that in. So now your template is all set up. Who can guess how we're gonna trim that out? Have a router set up with a flush trim rabbit bit. Obviously it's sized for this jig. Shepherd Brackets also sells those, or you know, a lot of you woodworkers are probably going to have that. It's just a simple flush trim bit. So we're just going to run around it with the router, trim that out, and then I'll show you the next step. So that's quick and easy enough. You just plunge in there with the router, run it a pass around, and you're all set. You can see how nice that fits in there. A little bit of wiggle room, so you have just a little bit of play. There's only one step left. Got to drill the holes. We got a little trick for that too. So we got this nice auger bit, which is going to do a nice job drilling the holes. And with every one of these brackets that you order, or I should say not with every one, but with every order, they send you a hole drilling guide, which is very nice. I freehanded these before in the past, doing floating shelves, and you got to be really straight, otherwise you got problems. So this will hold everything nice at 90 degrees. So you can actually screw this down or clamp it or hold it. So I'm going to get this lined up. Obviously you got to put your bracket in and figure out where your holes are going to go, and going to get it lined up and then drill the holes. So I found the easiest way is to just drop it over the bracket like that. Then I mark where this falls. Kind of just center it. Honestly, I do it by eyeball. You could measure, but I found just eyeball's close enough, or at least my eyeball's close enough. You should screw it down or clamp it down. Quite honestly, I've just been holding it and it's been working pretty well for me. So that'll get you started. Then you have to finish it without the guide. But nice thing about these auger bits is they pull straight. So once you have your hole started, it'll pretty much follow that. They also kind of self-feed, which is nice. Like I said, I would definitely recommend clamping or drilling. See how we did? Beautiful. Like a glove. So you can see that's a really quick and easy way to do these floating shelves. It's kind of foolproof. You know, if you invest in the tools, these brackets aren't the cheapest thing, but you guys know how it goes. You can buy junk and you can fight with it, or you can buy quality. This is, like I said, a small company in the USA, which means a lot to me. So it's nice. Their website is really easy to navigate. They got a lot of nice stuff. Like I said, I have no endorsement. I don't even know the folks, but I really like the product. Hopefully you learned something here. I know it's a lot different than our typical video on the channel, but you know, I figured if I'm doing it, I might as well, you know, maybe help somebody out. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.